Hello, this is Jeffrey the Big Kid, welcoming you once more to the Edward A. Hazley Railroad, the EAHRR, a fantasy railroad dedicated to my friend Ed. I'm bringing you back here because I want to try to give you a little clearer view and a little clearer narration about the railroad. I won't cover everything I did in my previous first attempt at a movie, but I'll probably repeat myself several times over. Anyway, as you can hear, I have 3 locomotives going. One steam locomotive, a B&O EM1, made by the Baldwin Company. That's this one right here. It was made in 1944 for the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad. I'm going to switch over to 2 other locomotives. These are diesel locomotives made by the American Locomotive Company. They're called S2s. Let me switch over to the other one. And they were made in 1940. They're the ones that are making the most noise. Now what I'm going to do is first turn off the steam locomotive sound, only because I want you to hear the Alco S2s by themselves. And that's the sound of those diesels. And let's get one in the picture here. Alright, I'm bringing on the sound again of the steam locomotive. Preferably, I would like to hear steam. I find steam locomotives more interesting than diesel locomotives, but diesel locomotives are fine, and they do add correctness to my 1940s, 1950s layout, or if you prefer, model railroad. Okay, let's turn off the Baldwins. Give me a moment. Excuse me, the Alco diesels I'm turning off. Okay. It's not silence. It's steam locomotive, and that's what you're going to hear the rest of this trip. All right. Here we are aboard 3 railroads. Both of them are Both of them are hauling gondolas or gondola cars. That's what you see here. And truthfully, this is a empty gondola, and there are a few more around here. But the important thing to remember is, for me at least, that every gondola you see here with a load in it, whether it be scrap metal or well used and well worn and returned to the manufacturer or to a recycler wheels, and a couple of other loads around here, were all made by me. That's a point of pride with myself. I enjoy making loads, and I thought you'd like to see it. Now, because of this, I'm switching over to what was a major scrap yard. And yes, there's still a scrap yard, but now you'll see that there's a steel yard next to it with pipes and I-beams and what are called flats or sheets of steel. I've also moved scrap out of this area here and put in different kinds of shapes of steel. Over here you see coils in 2 different arrays. Now, all of these that you see down here and over here were purchased. I bought those outright. These up here, though, I not only purchased them, but I modified them. They were virtually identical when I first bought them, but I changed them with additional color and additional pieces of scrap that I actually made. These coils that I show you here, I changed the coloring on. But again, my big point of pride on this railroad right here are all the scrap loads that I made and the wheel loads. Moving on, you might recall that I rescued this building out of the trash. Somebody didn't want it, and he was literally dumping it in the trash, and it's going to have some more modifications. I totally rebuilt this, totally changed the colors, changed the details, added details, such as the platform for the front end loader, or forklift, if you prefer, the sign, but I'm going to also add a crane. Here is the best purchase and modification that I have done. It's these 3 buildings here. 1, 2, 3. I'm very proud of all the work I put in them, changing color and texture and just making them my own. Which brings me to a point that some people disagree about. I do buy things either new or being discarded, or people just don't want anymore and are willing to sell at a very small price. I repair them. I repair them a lot. I modify them. I modify them a lot. It's not only to make them look good. It's to make these items my own. My personal structures, loads, whatever. And this again is a point of pride for me. So, what you see here isn't necessarily what I got originally. There are items here that I built from scratch. This item here I did not build from scratch. But I have about 16 to 20 hours of work in it, changing its coloring, adding some details, changing the sign work. A lot of repairs have been done here. A little bit of modification. This item needed repairs and modification to make it sit properly and for the wood to look right and for all the figures to stand. I've made some repairs on this, but the future modification is to put in a nice different sign of a location that I'm familiar with, and a lot of people who know me, the location is familiar to them as well. You might recall that I talked about Billy Miner. Oh heck, I've forgotten the name now. Shame on me. Billy Miner Brewing Company, that's it. Well, it turns out there isn't a Billy Miner Brewing Company that I can find. However, it turns out that there is a Miner Brewing Company in Hill City, South Dakota. There's also a Billy Ale House and Cafe in Maple Ridge, British Columbia. Okay, that's straightened out. Well, I've said what I really want to say about the layout, the model railroad. I'm really proud of it. I'm looking forward to doing more. These have all under the water tower, the store, the sanding station, the coaling tower, whoops, not the stool, sorry. They have all undergone some form of modification, some form of repair. All of these. But yes, they were purchased. Okay, I think I've said enough. I hope you've enjoyed watching and listening to the railroad. Personally, the best sound in the world when it comes to a railroad that I know of is this. And let's see. We add in the other guys. Ooh, I may have played the wrong sound for you before. Give me a moment. No, this is the best sound in the world. Sorry. Oh, and if you're wondering why the camera's gone all over the place, it's because I'm trying to do two things at once, and I'm not very good at that. Thank you. Goodbye. I hope you enjoyed this return. Let me just sort of go around the layout one more time. Past the repair yard. Scrap. Scrap. The new grain elevator, grain storehouse. Lumber shed. The maintenance of way. Whoops, missed it. Try again. The maintenance of way. Run by the railroad to keep the tracks healthy. In this case, it happens to be led by a snowblower. Yep, it's not a plow. This actually turns right in here. That turns and blows the snow away by the hundreds of pounds. This is another grain elevator. Some industry, commercial building, warehouse, commercial building in the background, a small water tower. Whoops. A railway express depot for loading onto their cars for shipment anywhere in the United States and Canada too, I believe. Also, we have here another sort of storehouse and loading station, commercial building, lovely commercial building. I think this is the only building here that I haven't done a modification to or repair to, is this one right here. Beautiful. Whoops. Never mind that. Where I met my significant other in the beautiful town of Greenbelt, Maryland. Thought I'd add Maryland because you may not know where that is. Some homes. At Purina Mills. Elevator for feed and seed. There's the ale house again. A weigh station for giving information to the railroad. Excuse me, to the locomotive, the engineer. I'm busy tripping over a cord here. Thank you. And over here we have a lumber yard. Oh yeah, my airport. Use your imagination. Freight terminal. Let's look inside. Well, I've added some details and a little bit of color. And a passenger station. Okay, we're done. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed this.